The opioid crisis hits people of all ages and races, but new data shows that members of the Black community are seeing an alarming rate in deaths related to the powerful opioid fentanyl.
News Channel 5's Matthew Torres gathered a panel to better understand the growing issue.
Were any of you startled or even surprised by the spike?
I was saddened by it. I realized that I have been in denial about it.
Why do you think you were in denial beforehand?
I was just hoping it wouldn't hit the African American community. With the crack epidemic, that just tore our community apart, and our community was targeted.
Sharon McKinney was a crack addict turned alcohol and drug abuse counselor. She shares the sentiment that the crack epidemic placed a bad taste in the Black community.
Just the way crack addicts were treated in treatment centers. They were treated differently.
Thankfully, the attitudes around addiction are finally changing, but in large part, that again has that racial overtone now that the people who are addicted look like lawmakers in Washington.
It's an issue others are now reflecting on as more African Americans are dying of fentanyl at a higher rate.
Do you think in the Black community there is a stigma or refusal to get that treatment?
We tend to want to care for ourselves. One is because we think we can't afford the treatment that is needed. There's a stigma, there's barriers.
How do you break down the barriers?
We need to educate our doctors. We need to educate our government. Those are some of the bigger barriers that affect the ground level communities. And if we're just dumping money in a pool and say, go do this, are we really being effective?
We as a community, we're always out front as it pertains to athletics, entertainment, right? Now we need to be outspoken and lead the way as it pertains to self-care in our community. What does that look like? Well, it would look like it's okay to say, I need help.
Everyone in this panel agree there is hope, but that starts with a change in cultural mindset. Matthew Torres, News Channel 5.
Matthew, thank you. And the conversation continues in an extended version on newschannel5.com, where you can hear more from that panel.